All right. We are live. Barbershop Stories, episode 2. And today, just like any other barbershop story, of course, we have our topics, but we definitely got plenty of shit to talk about what's been going on in the world and abroad. And today, we got a special guest up in there. Very special guest. If you don't know him, your ass gonna know him after the day. And matter of fact, I ain't gonna even say it. Fuck all that. I'm gonna let him say it. We have the honorable, the legendary. He's a Woodlonian as well. And if he ain't, I'm gonna let him correct it. All the way from over there. Go ahead and tell me who you is, big dog.
Hey man, I'm Rakim Shabazz, man. Kicking it with Bennie and Sam. Been rocking with these guys for almost 20 years, man. So we got some good conversation coming up tonight, and yeah, man, just listen up, listen in.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, today, we like to bring in different kind of guests. They just from all different walks of life. They ain't always got to be somebody that's super duper famous, because here, we ain't super duper famous. But, the shit we talk about, it's definitely going to touch you, though. You can believe that there. So the topic today is called Bridging the Gap. And Bridging the Gap, that cover wide range of stuff. Yeah. So, but we're gonna bridge the gap, shit, just like it say, this gentleman here, young, he's active, and he know what the hell he talking about. That obviously shit. That's why he here. So what's going on, man? What's happening? What's going on in your world and in the world that you see, Brother Shabazz?
A lot I see going on, man. Economics is one thing, man.
They kind of started locally, just to kind of chop it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Local economics has been a trip. The mayor cut the budget to our schools. I don't know. I don't really know what his plan is behind that, but cutting the education budget seems like a very risky thing, because it seems like he's investing in the superficial part of the superficial investment of the city, meaning on the surface with stadiums and soccer teams, but you're not investing in infrastructure, which is the educational system. You can have all these nice little things in the city, $1,600 rent, but all these schools in the city still failing. Your city, you the mayor. Yeah. And all these schools in your city failing, and you cut the budget.
I tell you what, I kind of noticed, that money going to different places, man, and taken away from education over the years, even before Mayor Woodfin. Yeah. And it seems like just when we say we're going to, the 99 neighborhoods is first priority, seems like the 99 neighborhoods are the schools that's losing the most, what I'm saying? The schools from those 99 neighborhoods, and of course, people try to uphold and thrive wherever they are and keep things nice and still be supportive and spirited about it, but truth of the matter is, behind the scenes and underneath the surface is things that a regular citizen can't control, man.
Because it's the devil. The devil is in the detail. A lot of people don't realize that property taxes is what funds public schools. Mm-hmm. And like I was just telling Bennie, before the cameras got rolling, gentrification is allowed to fester because everybody is renting property. And if everybody renting property, that means there's no property taxes going to the schools in those areas. So I know what a solution may be, but we so divided, man, when it comes to which way to go,
That's on whatever.
So,
I don't know, man.
So I hear what y'all saying, but with everything being said, though, a lot of people that I see, or we see online or in different mediums around the world, different broadcasts, we always see people saying they organize protests to fight against all the discrepancies and the downplays that we get in the hood. Right. Do you think that's a proper approach as far as with the protest?
Something else, man.
Simple answer is no, because it seems like you're begging to me when you protest. I mean, I know that's not the intent of some people. That's not the some people are more passionate than to say, hey, we down here begging, but that's what it boils down to.
It's for sure not the only approach. Yeah. It's not the only approach. I think it's a stage in starting toward, getting something handled. But thinking that's the only approach or the most effective approach, that might be the wrong way to, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's definitely probably the least effective. Well, it's not the least effective. The least effective is not doing anything.
Yeah, because it does gain attention.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm necessarily for or against protest.
That's the thing, man. It's a lot of people in my generation who are, I guess, pro-protest, marching in the streets, saying we want this, we want that. But I'm like, okay, what do we do after that?
That's real.
What we going after this protest over?
Because my old thoughts on it, man, is just as well as you got people out there protesting in the street, you got to have somebody on the other side of that desk ready to push that pen for that paperwork.
I'm gonna get into something. That just brought up. That reminded me of a subject I was talking about the other day with somebody. When it comes to getting somebody in place inside the system that's on our side, how do we do that? Because a lot of times, all right, just take the mayor for example. I'm just using it for an example. Let's take the mayor, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we get somebody black, powerful, black and they're in a powerful position, right? Mm-hmm. First thing we want to do is call them a coon or Uncle Tom just because of their position.
That's real.
They might be in that position, but back behind the scenes, they with the struggle. You know what I mean? They with all that, but they just can't show it because they're on a certain stage. You know what I mean?
Over the counter, they got to be, you know what I'm saying? Clean cut. Yeah.
That's one issue, but after the protests, I hear no talks about what's next. It's just another protest.
I tell you what needs to be next. You got to stick to agenda, and you got to have one even before you have to mobilize. You know what I'm saying? Agenda should always be in place. And I'm not gonna talk like we sitting up here with all the answers, but everybody out there understands when we say that if you're protesting, if you're out there fighting in the streets, trying to get governmental, political change, you know paperwork got to come behind it. You know laws got to change. You know amendments got to be looked into. You know things got to be turned over from the way they were before you started this protest, or everything will be looked at as senseless. Even if minute things get handled, it's almost going to be viewed as senseless by the other half that doesn't really support protests or look at protests like it's effective, man.
And that's what a divide come in there, man.
Real.
You got protesting is one thing. Like I'm not for it or against it necessarily, but people become so divided just because people have other methods of doing things.
That's real.
And I think that's a detriment in and of itself. But how we going to ever advance if we take every opportunity we can to argue? Everybody was arguing over the Face app thing today on Facebook.
That Face app thing going hard out there right now.
Everything turns into an argument.
That's our tech bite for the day.
Everything turns to an argument, man.
Well, see, but this is the thing, though. I think that, just speaking on all of it that I heard y'all speaking on, that most people don't know each other to even get together to protest. And, you really can't protest if y'all ain't on the same issue.
Exactly.
Because one, we're separated by income.
That's
so
right.
if somebody's straight and somebody ain't, they're not going to view it the same.
Man, what?
That's just bottom line. It's no
classism.
There's no way they're going to view it the same. So, when you go to hearing about Duke done shot the shit out of Ray, people who seeing this from somewhere else, they don't understand that, these cats fighting over resources. Now, I ain't saying setting dope, trapping, or whatever wrong or right. But I will say this, until you're in that situation, you don't know what your ass will do. So when you go to seeing them doing all that, the people who well to do, they don't understand it. So getting together with somebody who they feel like beneath them, that shit just ain't gonna happen. Until it's a bridge somewhere in there where they can actually sit down and realize how much they really got in common, because all of them still oppressed, whether you think you straight or not.
Man,
so they got to start a conversation, man.
I would say that classism is almost the biggest problem is racism.
Classism, where we at right now today. Yeah. It's classism just as much as racism. I would say that, if not more, just as much. Racism always gonna be, always top the charge to me, because some of the things that happened in the past that hadn't been corrected.
Right.
You'll never be able to live them down. I don't care what you say out there. You got to correct things of the past. You got to repair things that you've broken, and then we can move on. But classism, it's phasing in, and it's phasing in. It has phased in hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I get the $1 million question too. We all Birminghamians. Where do you see Birmingham in 10 years on what all we see developing and the things that come to pass that we already see in motion? Where do you see Birmingham in 10 years? And how do we get
Looking
there?
good. It may look good. As far as what we looking at, building. We're looking at lights coming on in structures that we ain't never seen them on in, So, depending on how old y'all, you know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be looking good, Pay attention to the word and looking.
I agree with the looking part. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look different. But under the surface, the problems are gonna still be there. I think the problems are gonna be intensified in 10 years, honestly. You think violence is a problem now, wait to 10 years when everybody pushed out of their areas. You think violence is a problem now, wait to 10 years when everything in the city is expensive,
Yeah.
Alabama, Birmingham's still pretty affordable right now, but there's some apartments right down the road at Railroad Park cost $1,400-$1,500 a month
Yeah.
to live, just one bedroom,
But
Right down the street from Bettie Kingston.
going back to what you were saying about education earlier, man, I don't think people realize how important it is to invest in education, all forms of education, whether it's through trades, whether it's through a 2-year, 4-year, however you get it. And the reason why is because the investment you make now is the shit we're going to have to deal with later.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're investing these children, and let's just say in the early 80s, you got to remember in 2000, them fuckers grown.
Yeah.
So now you got to deal with a person who are educated and still ignorant to a lot of things, which means you're going to turn to the stuff that you know, and then you produce crime. Or you have a higher likelihood to produce crime. I'd say that.
Yeah, the likelihood up there.
Yeah, but it's all about investing in the city earlier, because I love to see the new things going on. I've been here all my life, 39 years. But I want to see growth, but I want to see growth with a foundation on the house, not with no pine straw. Because if you don't build it right, you're going to have to revisit the same issues over and over and over, because it was never straightened out third. That's like having on a sharp outfit and some dirty tennis shoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? You still going to have to wipe them holes off at some point.
You ain't fit what you broke, man.
You're gonna have to do it. Do it, like I said, the direction. I think it's good. Do I think it's all the way through and make sure everybody was educated to get these gigs? I don't think so.
So you'll take the direction the city going right now, as long as they tweak some things about education, basically.
What about education?
Not just education.
And education and economics.
That's
They all work hand in hand. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because if you're educated, you got a high likelihood to get them economics.
Right.
Put yourself in the arena where the money even is.
Right.
Because this stuff go around this city all the time that nobody has the slight idea about. Because they ain't educated enough to be in that room with certain folk. Or do they have the finances to even say, what I'm going to invite you for, man? You got $200 to your name.
Right.
Don't even know it's going on.
Don't even know it's happening.
It's happening, though, right up under our nose.
How we reach those people though? That say the people who have an interest to want to find out what's going on with that, but financially they can't be in the places that they need to be to put them in the mix.
I think before they even go to that level, they got to start off with the folks in their vicinity first.
Yeah.
And when I say vicinity, it got to be the people just right there in their circle. But they got to start on people on their level. They got the same ideology, because they're gonna all be willing to work harder, because they start from the same standpoint. Couple small resources, but you can put them small resources and make something big. I think they ought to do that, because think about it. That's like a first grader trying to holler at a senior. I don't want to talk to you, man. Grow up. You're not qualified.
You don't know enough.
But if I talk to, let's just say me, you, and Sam got $200 a piece, shit, now it's $600. You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to start with just the people right in your vicinity and find their strengths and weaknesses first, to be able to build a group, to be able to challenge whatever's around.
I think that's a key thing, because people get caught up in like people quantify everything. Like everything has a number on it now. How many likes you got on this pic? How many likes you got on that status?
Digital world.
How many people you got in your group that's moving? Forget how many people you got. What's the quality of the people you got? Like people look at it as you only got 2 people that agree with you. If them 2 people agree with you 1,000%, and y'all moving forward in the same direction at the same time, that's all you need.
That's it.
People get bogged down with trying to get a group together, as opposed to getting somebody together who's actually down with the cause. The group will come. The numbers will come. then you start asking yourself, all right, are you really in it for the change, or are you in it just to get your name out there? Why you need 1,000 people if you got 5 strong people to move with you? You know what I mean?
Already moved.
Just start. Just start.
Well, the thing is, I think fashion and Facebook or fashion and social media, they got two things in common. They all like to look good. So you gotta remember now, just like they speak on a lot of these activists that go around the country, most of them show up with big crowds.
Right.
Shit look good. You shop with them $1,000 butcher knife. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of old ass ladies singing and praying for you and shit. That shit fine. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people want that look. Just like the church world got fans, Jay-Z got fans, Pimps got fans, niggas who trapping got fans. Activists do too. So I think when people,
that's true.
I think people, man, they, it's popular now.
Yeah.
And then I don't even think you can be an activist without even knowing some folks and already active to be an activist,
And the way things, happening today, like I said, dealing with the miseducation because of the mishandling of funds, programs being snatched out of schools and have been snatched out of schools, welding, of course, was in schools when I was in there. You had auto mechanics, you had things, and some of them came back. Some of those vocational classes have came back to city schools, but it was a gap in there where a lot of that stuff was gone, and there's a lot of guys I knew that I grew up under that was coming right out of high school getting jobs, nice jobs, taking care of babies and women jobs after, coming out of high school because they had them welding certifications, those auto mechanic certifications, all type of different stuff, man. And then everybody's not cut out for college, everybody's not prepared for college, everybody's not ready for college. So where do you leave that cat that's coming out of school that probably hadn't got that first job yet? Probably should have been had it. Who knows what the problem was or why they don't. But what happened to that cat that busts out of high school that's looking for options and they not right there? The positive options are not the most immediate options there for them. You walk outside and there's options there that might not be suitable for other people, but and that's when your crime and your violence and stuff kind of flow from all of those choices, choices that, teens make when you're in a hard spot or a spot where you really quite don't know what to do or don't have the guidance. And, man, we got people out here talking about we need martial law out here right now, man. What y'all think about that, man? I don't know if it's that serious, man.
I think
personally,
that's the easy answer. Because when you got people like when you're in city government and you got people that are talking about it's bad, and old people scared and hollering and shit, and everybody telling we need to do something. If you playing the politics role, you gonna say the fine shit that's gonna sound good to your constituents, because you remember it's all about re-election. So if you holler, hey, I'm gonna bring the martial law and I'm gonna beat these niggas out here and they cutting up, that shit sound good to some people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's almost like
vote that want it anyway.
They gonna beat your ass. Don't you
gonna exterminate y'all ass.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they understand the seriousness of that. They're gonna be affected too.
Even that creates alienation even more, because it's like I'm suffering and you're gonna beat me down even more by bringing in, the National Guard, whoever you're gonna bring in. Like, give me resources, give me some solutions, Yeah. But then it falls on the question.
Make them available to
right, like why not put this stuff in the community? You see that now. You see this stuff is being purposely left out of the community, and it got to make you think, like, man, what in the hell?
Purposely stripped.
Yeah, but you have people
from the communities stripped, dog.
Man, you probably got people.
Down.
You probably got people living in Kingston, Avondale right now who don't know nothing different than Kingston, Avondale.
That's right.
It got to be, at that point, whose responsibility is it to show them, a different side of life? It's people living
they can make it doing this, or they can make it doing that.
It's people living in Gate City don't know it's shit outside. Man, Mountain Brook is 4 miles from Gate City, man.
Small percent get out.
Yeah.
Small percent want something different than what they seen all those years coming up around that area. But there's more people there than that. And believe me, it's more people that aspire to get out. They might be locked in for reasons different than you had to grow up with. You know what I'm saying? So we're not trying to just throw those people to the side and say,
Absolutely.
man, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, they don't matter.
Nah.
Cause a few more can be saved, even not all. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get 100% of nothing, but I believe you can get many as you can and get out of there. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a while before we see it in the city, though. Well, see, it's gonna be a while before we see it from the city government.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Well, one reason, because they even scattering us out even more. If you pay attention there, they sending us out in Center Point, they sending us out in Gardendale, the back of Hoover, West. I can't think of the area that they putting pretty much the impoverished, community in. They pretty much moving it where they want to move it to.
Man, it's a dude
They
told-
control it with Section 8 vouchers.
There's a dude told me 10 years ago, this was like 2009, this was before Valleybrook got bad how it is now, right? He was like, bro, he said, in 2 or 3 years, Valleybrook gonna be the new Kingston. I'm like, what you talking about? He said, man, everybody from the hood moving to Center Point. And I'd be goddamned if his ass wasn't right.
Because they put them vouchers out there. Yeah. And
You-
not saying it's bad, ain't nothing bad about it if that's what
No.
you have to use to come up. you
That's
know?
fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Living in Center
Yeah.
Point, living off vouchers is fine, but you can't just displace people without putting some resources behind them too.
That's real.
But
You
you gotta
Keep
remember
them
though,
resources flowing and available.
Now I think we all in agreement that shit wrong. We know that. But when I realized what I realized about the United States being a capitalist society, somebody had got to be on the floor.
Well, well,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm not-
always gonna happen.
And see, I'm not agreeing with it, but most of the stuff that we see that's going around in cities across America, that shit's strategic.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you go to your city hall, they got city plan that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in advance. And most of the time that shit go almost to T. So they write the shit in legislation, they write it off in policies, they write it off in bills, they write it off in amendments. And we look up and that shit go as planned.
Yeah.
So when we don't see certain things happening, a lot of times, and I'm going on a limb saying it because I ain't gonna vouch for nobody unless I know that. Most politicians I don't think are fucked up people. I think most of them follow policy. And a lot
They
of
gonna
them,
do their job.
They're gonna do their job. It's a job, and people, and just like the police or whomever, they can know some shit wrong, but because it's on paper, they're gonna follow it. So when you think about us being a capitalist society, a lot of this shit, somebody got to be on the bottom. You just can't let the shit be you. So when you see stuff like programs coming out of school or a business that employ 4,000 people and all of a sudden leave, a lot of time when they go in business, they were like, look, dog, the expiration date, we're going to leave this business 25, 30 years. That's when the tax write-offs write off. So now this many people going to be impoverished. This many people, I think all that shit is statistics, numbers, and to have somebody in the bottom, because that's the only way a capitalist society can really thrive, by somebody being at the bottom, so they ain't gonna educate your ass.
So you think we need to destroy capitalism, or do you think we need to be more strategic in the way we move into capitalism?
Well,
because the capitalism has
Man, we here to
benefits
stay.
for the ones who know how to scale it.
Oh yeah. So let me let me elaborate.
Somebody destroyed.
Let me elaborate, my Negro brother. I don't think it need to be destroyed, because first of all, I ain't got no army tank or no motherfucking bazookas or no shit to really tear the whole
Gotta have
down.
army.
But I do believe in this.
Marine, Air Force, Navy, all this.
I think just like looking at a boxer before you fight him, you got to figure out how that shit work. You know what I'm saying? Because it has worked for me. Like even with Trump, when they talk about how fucked up he is with taxes, you got to remember, for him to say that shit publicly, he found out a way to do that.
Yeah, right.
So I think us, and I'm gonna speak for
On
black people,
TV, Fox, CNN,
You gotta be more
what channel
strategic.
you want. He saying that shit on every channel he wants to say it on.
but we gotta be more strategic. You know what I'm saying? And I think that instead of complaining and going back to the protest thing, you sit back talking about, hell no, we won't go. If they put that fire in your ass, you gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that the fight, don't get me wrong, I think you need to love this, love that, love this. Just like a meal, you use more than one seasoning. But in most cases, shit ain't gonna change without no fight. Or you strategizing to know how to work within it better. One of the two. So, I think that we need to
We slowly educating ourselves out of it, I think, and self-teaching our way out of it. But you talking about moving at any faster pace, it's gonna take a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got it, like they want it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
But really-
suicide, man. That's
Yeah.
at this point of war, it'd be suicide.
Yeah.
Because you're not equipped
Man,
on no
well,
level to fight any kind of war.
Really, really ain't no
Economic war, political
sense
war,
talking about it.
physical war. We ain't equipped to fight nothing, man.
Man, That's true. That's real.
Man, it's almost
Real
scary.
spit.
It's almost scary to say that, man. The world we live in now, it'll have to be what they say, white horse coming through the cloud playing a trumpet and shit gonna have to change this, because if you think about it, if you a black person that grew up in a social in a different economic system, far as they just say over the mountain, you folks made 6 figures, both of your parents. You ain't gonna understand that shit that we talking about. We ain't gonna understand the shit that they talking about. So one, it's hard to get them together because they gonna be like, bitch, you ain't grinding. The other end is gonna be like, no, man, this shit fucked up. And unless you dig deeper or you've been to that area yourself, you ain't gonna understand it. And I think that's the scariest part, man, because I see on TV all the time that, you know, rich and poor get the fussing all the time. But rich folks tell them poor folks how to live, and the budget's different. You can't.
And they sit up there high on the hall. Eating off the high end of that motherfucker.
Now they raid the pig themselves around that bitch.
Well, I'm talking about right. But with all that said, man, I still don't think these youngsters that bad. You need no martial law. Some ass whipping might be goddamn in motherfucking goddamn in play.
This how I view
Martial
it.
law, man. God damn, you gonna kill them? Shit, you bad cause they killing, and you just gonna come in and kill them. That's crazy as hell. Who the hell?
This is what
y'all
I think
listening to?
I think new kids need this, right? You notice how kids today are like not afraid of any adult. They'll cuss in front of any adult. They like they don't care what they say. They like they fearless for the most part. Right?
Word.
We got to take that shit and make it be used in our advantage
Right.
for the community. You know, flip the perspective on that shit. You know, cause they out here. They
Take them young
fearless.
minds and develop them.
Yeah, they fearless.
But you know what I believe though? Hard-headed children come from hard-headed parents. A lot of times, man, what you put in shit, a lot of times what you gonna get out. Now, I'm not saying folks won't stray away and all this stuff like that, but even if you stray away, you got a foundation to come back to.
There's a percentage that do. We like to talk them percentages. You know,
Yeah.
percentage gonna be a big word. There's a percentage that come up in them good houses and stray away. We ain't gonna count them Negroes out.
I know a few of them, man.
Man, what? Had it all.
I know a few.
Everything paid, and a lot of us have, you know what I'm saying, better options than we choose. You know, the human element always involved in this thing out here too. Now we ain't gonna talk like life just a nutshell and hey, I'm gonna make all the right choices and oh man, you gonna have some hurdles in your way, you gonna have some shortcomings, you gonna have some days when you feel like, man, it ain't your day. You gotta come up out of it though.
All right, well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we pretty much in agreement on, you know, on economics, you know, with the city looking like the face of the city, you know, some of the changes going on. We kind of all aware of that. Have you yourself ever reached out to somebody else you seen trying to make a move and try to bridge that gap to get a conscious effort to move something forward? You ever reached out to anyone?
That's a great topic.
Yeah,
That might be a whole
I have.
show.
But honestly, the people I've reached out to, for the most part, I ain't gonna say everybody, but most of the people I've reached out to, I don't feel like they're authentic. I feel like they're in it for the wrong reasons. As far as like trying to better society, they're trying to better society for their own glory, for their own betterment. You know, I don't know, man, but I think the biggest thing why there's a gap between the generations out here, I think it's a lack of understanding, man. And people are gonna think I'm crazy or I'm too woke when I say this, but I think social media has a lot to do with that. Because calling it social media is like, yeah, I mean, it's really anti-social media. You know, people don't know how to really talk anymore.
Yeah.
People don't know how to converse with each other.
Anti-social.
It's anti-social media, right?
Anti-social.
Matrix.
Exactly, because I just look at myself. 10 years ago was a lot different out there in them streets than it is now. It was a lot easier to talk to people then. You spoke to people in the streets back then, they'll speak back. Now you go ahead, well, motherfucking knee muggy in the face. I'm like, throw your head up, nigga, looking at you. I'm like, fam,
Ask
just
for a
speak.
damn
Yeah.
number. Nigga ass out here stalking and
Yeah.
shit. Man.
All kind of
Watching
crazy shit
pages
going on.
and
Yeah. All kind of crazy shit. Nigga find out your name, they'll find out the chick name and then go home and find on social media.
Yeah, watch them.
Or you can know somebody on social media. Hey, they know a motherfucker on social media. They'll see him out. They won't speak to him when they out. Then go home on social media. Hey, I saw you. Motherfucker, why you ain't speak?
All right, well, let me ask y'all this though. Now, you know, this kind of awful. So, So y'all don't mess around and see a cute face and click on the pictures and looking at try to look and see if that Duke see if you got a Duke picture.
That's different. That's different than if I don't know, that's different.
He ain't
man.
stalking.
No, I'm saying,
if I don't know who they is.
But if I know you and I know your name and I go type all your social media and try to follow you that way instead of saying something to you when I see you, that's what that creep shit. That's that creep life shit. You know what I'm saying? And all that shit kind of plays into the separation into the gaps. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people set in their ways. Older generation set in their ways, and the younger generation low key set in their ways too. Mm-hmm. They like, hey, we ain't with all that shit y'all was with back then. We finna do it this way.
You know, advancement, technological advancement, man. I mean, you got to get with it. You got to move with the waves.
Yeah,
of the world.
Yep. I don't know, man. I just believe because myself, and of course, by the way, we're gonna announce ourselves again, just in case you don't know. I'm comedic narrator, haircut slanger, Bennie barber, 25 years, V949, podcast doer, comedian. I do all that shit, so I just want to let you know that. And that's who again?
Rakim Shabazz. For y'all who didn't know, I'm in a polygamous relationship. I have 2 women that live with me.
Ooh, hold up. Pause 1 second.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, a polygamous relationship is more than one girl.
Yeah.
So that means it's 2 girls, all of them cohabitate together, and them motherfuckers are minded. They minded. Bottom line, you go, motherfucker. Man, nigga. But now, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother set. We're going to bring it back on that, but we're going to touch on this shit at least 2 minutes, though.
We might let him elaborate.
Yeah, we're going to let him elaborate just a little bit. Yeah, we're going to.
Right now, we gonna go in. I mean, that's on him, man. I can't got that.
No, I was just gonna let everybody
he brought
know.
it up though.
He said it for a reason.
That's kind of something that I got coming up. I got kind of like a vlog coming up, kind of tell what it's like, and advice and tips if you want to get that type shit popping in your life or whatever. So
Well,
that's it. It bad.
Now,
Vlog coming.
that right there,
Look for it.
I think that's an interesting perspective, and we're going to bring him back and do a whole nother segment on that. But I'm glad he brought that up. So y'all put that on your mind. That's going to come up probably episode 7, 8, somewhere around there.
Ladies, look for that one.
Oh, yeah. That's an interesting one there. And then, too, have y'all heard about, there's been a lot of people going to that bottom bunk, too. Donald Watkins, Birmingham native, and his children. Him and the children going to jail. What, y'all heard about that?
Man, I hate to think that's some conspiracy theory stuff like we always get put on in the barbershop, being buying into conspiracies and all that, Everybody say barbers, conspiracy theory. But I don't know, man. If all that stuff is true, man, why they went to prison, man, it's like that's another example of when we get money and pretty much I guess not advance the right way. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to discredit anyone in their contributions that they have made toward.
Sam got a problem with
that. You feel me? T.I.
That nigga Sam T.I. Harden running this motherfucker. That nigga said, first of all, I don't want to discredit anyone.
Dude, they might have contributed something somewhere that I don't know about. So I ain't finna step on that and they be looking at me. But that'd be fucked up if, they played cats out their bread, you know what I'm saying, and supposed to been doing something better with it, man,
And by the way, for those who don't know, Donald Watkins, he's a black attorney from Birmingham. He worked in the Arrington administration, and he was a very wealthy man. Right here out of Birmingham, he was going to try to bring the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Twins here. And it's kind of sad to even hear about the man caught up in a money scheme because, like I said, I don't know if it's true or false. The court says it's true, but that don't mean it's always true. We know that. But I would like to hear more about it. But,
Barbershop.
Yeah, it's interesting, because a lot of time when people get real rich, they always get caught up in the scandal. Not always, but a lot of time. They get caught up in scandals, and I want to hear from them sometime and just hear their side, because I guarantee you, if you ask him, he ain't gonna say, yeah, you right, I did still $6 million, nigga, fuck him. He ain't gonna say that.
My 13.8 million.
You know what I'm saying?
Nigga did say that. I'll be on
They say he
Yeah,
ain't,
I ain't
they say he ain't snitch on his son. They say his son that snitch on him, but you know, they tied up in there because you know they asked him. They was in the top end of that thing, so you know, legal boundaries. You know, thing came back to hunt. I guess you know.
Oh yeah.
Them just some brothers that got fucked up in the mix, like a lot of other brothers that getting fucked up in the mix. Right or wrong, we can't. You know, ain't but one Most High, so you know, we can't judge them.
Yeah.
They got fucked up because of capitalism.
That's true too. And
Gotta know what you're doing though.
what I'm gonna say, let me see, hold on, I'm raising my hand like we're in the classroom. Safe, fully, speedy recovery for the officer that got shot tonight too. You know, I heard that briefly before we came live, you know, man. That, you know, shout out to the officer and their family, even the person who did the shooting, man. You know, we got to heal each other from the inside, man. I think everything with this poverty, economics, bullshit, and all this stuff going on, it contributes to everything we're seeing now. You know, it's a reflection of what we're seeing. So
All of the struggle, you know.
yeah, so prayers to all those families that's involved, man. That's a sad situation here, man, because I think we got a great city. I've been in Birmingham, like I said, 39 years, you know, Woodlawn, Schooler, Putnam Middle School, Schooler, Barrett, Avondale, Comer, and Gates City, bitch, Sick Duke and Lou, all that. But yeah, man, so I think we got a great city, man. I just want to see us do better as a whole. And when I say do better, not just, you know, far as financial or whatever, actually just even holding a conversation, because without a conversation, you can't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the person who you're talking to, y'all definitely ain't finna get together and do no business. You know, and then let me see who we got back here. We got legendary Big E, Coach Wesley, the nigga with the grease on the chest, Johnson Hill. We got Fred Bingo, and we got Big Gloss Barbecue back here. They're part of the studio audience tonight at the Barbershop Stores, episode 2, Breezing the Gap with Rakeem Shabazz, Sammy No Nose. Hey.
Plug them punches, man. Plug them punches. Plug them shows, monthly shows.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Shout out to all the sponsors. Thomas Charles with It's Punchy! You know what I'm saying? He make them at the house. You know, he got a cleaning service, so if you run sharp, you taste a little pine salt, fuck it, ain't gonna kill you. It's just gonna wrench you out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to It's Punchy.
They say it go good in drink.
Oh, yeah, it do. Yeah, it's a great chaser, too. And we gonna let me see. No, let me see.
Cold.
It's Punchy! But yeah, shout out to him, you know. And then shout out to Val Bell with the schools program. She's an educator that preps you for ACT. So any of your children that need to take the ACT, make sure you see her. On the screen, you're going to see the flyer flash through several times. And shout out to Tonio. He is the massage therapist of the year. Now, nigga ain't never felt on me. But all the chicks I done sent to him, they said he fine. So y'all make sure y'all check out Tonio with the massage therapy. Look at the flyer on that now. I just wanted to direct you to the flyer. Make sure you check that out. He that nigga, you know what I'm saying? He's black business, he shop with me and also sell commercials. Y'all make sure y'all contact me at area code 205-585-7273 and I can get you some commercial spots. They're very inexpensive. We just need a fundraiser. But yeah, who else? Anybody else we forgot? Tuesday Night Last. Yeah. Tuesday Night Last. That's the comedy show we do every first Tuesday. On a Tuesday, and the next one is August the 6th at Roost Place. Roost Place is, let me see. Do what you do. Get on 20. Go through Irondale. And when you get to 459, go to 11. We're in that long curve. Get off on Derby Way. Pow. Roost Place. August the 6th is called Laugh Before Class. Because we know school about to start. I got the tickets, 1 for $15, 2 for $20, but they must be purchased together to get the 2 for $20. Or you can go to the website at comedyandbham.com. Also, down here at the barbershop, this is a true barbershop setting. We're going to get some pictures of the barbershop right here. Sam, we've been co-workers for about 20 years now. Sammy No Nose.
Each other even longer.
Old Luther King, he down there on the end. He was waiting on the cover. They fucked him up. They didn't show up late. You got Scooter Rule, you got Shine, you got the goddamn Design
My
King,
nigga Shine.
Bob
photographer. You got Shine do all kinds of shit. Shine will come
Shine out here, man.
pick your shit up and drop it off. Shine, watch Wonder.
Dog, you got
Shine.
to show me
Pictures of
pictures.
you. They take pictures of your house.
That
and
nigga-
Bite dogs.
That
baby.
nigga train Rottweilers, Shih
Everything.
Tzu, mutts, whatever. Fuck with Shine. I seen that nigga get a mutt. The mutt talk. He can't speak the word fluent. They were like, sit down, and they said, okay. That's Shine. That's Shine shit. G.O.D. on guard, nigga, like them young niggas. But yeah, man, hey, like I said, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Barbershop Stories, episode 3. Wait till you see who's next. That wasn't point because I was fucking up, but I'm make that shit look like I was right. But wait till you see who's next. Next week, what day is 17th? So that's the 24th, man. Yeah, on the 24th. Y'all make sure you tune in. Anything, any last words, any last second, anybody, last testament, will and testament?
Man, we going hard. Next week, tune in. Check us out, man. It's always going to be an interesting topic going.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we going to have the info, baby.
Now, you know what I did forget? I did forget a couple more announcements.
Yeah.
Dead Wrong Stage Play and Comedy Tour is July the 26th at
Allison.
New Birth Baptist Church up there with old Stephen Davis. What up, Stephen? Yeah, that's on the 26th. That's at 6:30. And then I am in the play. I do a little acting and shit too. Give me a little. I ain't that good, but I'm a mixture between Denzel, Will Smith, and Samuel Jackson and a little Bennie Mac. But it ain't that good though. But it's alright. Yeah, and then also too, the Alabama Music Awards is July the 28th at the Bessemer Civic Center. Y'all make sure you come check that out. I'm the host for the 3rd year in a row. Hey, I ain't gonna just talk shit. I'm just grateful. You know what I'm saying? That somebody even think enough of me to put me on that bid 3 years in a row. I'm in there. I also still cut hair. We all still cut hair. Go to the Barbershop website at BennyMaxOnFirst.com. You can book your appointment via the shop phone. We still got a shop phone too. It's 591-CUTS or 591-2887. And shit, let me see what else. Oh, Live Speaker Tune. That's on the 26th too. That's after the play. It's gonna be in Bessemer at the Bessemer Civic Center as well. Y'all come check that out. What up, Glenwood? What's happening? Charles Winston, comedian Felicia, comedian Ira Coleman, homie Jay, comedian Miss V, Big Ed. What's happening? This just a shout out. You know niggas had to shout out.
New sound music.
Cause you know
for
niggas talk
Brothers.
shit if you don't
We
shout them out.
always
You know
in
that.
this thing. Dude
Yeah.
from the Barbershop, GP's, Woodlawn J, what's happening out there, man?
Goddamn Big
Roll
Reese too.
one.
What up, Big Reese?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Anybody want to shout out? Shout out to
Yeah, man.
is the realest nigga out here.
Shout out my women, man. LaShondra, Alexandria. Hey, I love y'all, man.
Hey, that's gonna be a heavy one now, man.
My
That's gonna be
nigga,
heavy.
hey,
Love y'all.
we
Y'all
gonna
gotta tune
put that
in,
one
baby.
together as soon as possible.
Yeah, I
Got
see
to.
that one. Tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Hey, yeah, shout out to the cameraman K1 with Z-Lens Media. He do a lot of the camera work for me. Shout out to Rock Reels too. Hell, I got 2-3 cameramen I deal with because sometimes that nigga there that make moves and shit be busy as a motherfucker, so I can't catch it. But Birmingham Love, Rock Reels.
K1.
All that shit. Hey, and also look out for my sketches too. I do a thing called HSAs. That's Hood Service Announcements. Look for that. I got a whole bunch of them, everything from funeral homes all the way to child support situations. So tune them up. I'm going to talk about it from a perspective, but with just a touch of funny. That's why they call me the comedic narrator, haircut slanger, Bennie Mac. Hear about me on the radio, 6 a.m. in the morning, V94.9. Let's go! And we out.
What y'all think, man?
That would be fine too. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, we would have put that in there.
Get that shit on record, man.
Man, you know, the phone recording the whole time, the bitch sideways.
You know what I'm saying?
The bitch was sideways the whole time. I had to restart my phone, but if I restarted, it would have cut.